the more of a caricature the person is, and thank God most of the guys in wrestling from that era are caricatures one way or another. The more of a caricature they are, the easier it is to channel them.
I really like that Lanny Poffo. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do a Lanny Poffo impression.
No, really? Oh, he's one of my favorites to do.
Yeah.
And I've never seen Antonino Rocco's penis, but I hear it's fantastic.
Welcome to Smores Indoors, everyone, and the most unique movie collector interview series here on YouTube, The Collector's Inquisition. I am Corey, your host, and for this episode, we have a very special guest for you. You may know him as the man behind Down to Movie here on YouTube. So let's bring him in right now. We have Rick with us tonight. Rick, what's going on?
What's going on, everybody? Corey, thanks for having me, man.
Honored to have you. Hope you're doing well. And I want to start off the show kind of like I always do. And for anybody that may be new to you, let you talk a little bit about your channel real quick.
All right. Well, my channel is Down to Movie. Basically, I do review videos as well as pickup videos. As you can see behind me, I have a few Blu-rays. I also have DVDs and 4Ks. Those are the formats I primarily collect. And my videos showcase, unboxings or pickup videos. And then I try to do weekly or bi-weekly review videos with what I've seen and my thoughts on what I've watched.
Awesome. Everybody, make sure you check Rick out if you haven't. I'll have a link for his channel down below. So go give him a subscribe and go check out his content for sure. It's always fun to watch. So, and for anybody new to this show, the format of the show, I know it's kind of a new video series here on the channel. Basically, I have a list of 150 questions that are numbered 1 to 150. I'm going to ask Rick 25, but those questions are going to be up to him based on numbers he chooses. So, if you're ready, Rick, we can let the Inquisition begin.
I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
All right. Well, give me your first number then.
Let's start out 147.
147. All right.
I'm saving my favorite number for last, and my girlfriend gave me a number. Those are the only two I know.
All right. So, your first question is, what is special about your hometown?
My hometown, where I was born, not much special. I was only there till I was 3 or 4. Where I currently reside is just a beautiful college area. Some of M. Night Shyamalan's stuff has been filmed very local to me, which is pretty cool as a movie buff. So that's cool. Like I said, there's a major university that I'm within walking distance to. And I've kind of moved around within an hour of where I live now for my entire life. So I've lived somewhere for like 12 years and then moved, and I was like 45 minutes away from there. And so I've kind of lived in like an hour bubble in Pennsylvania. So
nice.
But, yeah.
Gotta love those college towns because there's always cool, trendy shops around and stuff like that. So.
Downtown, the town I live is beautiful, and it's a town where you can just walk around. There's all sorts of fun like restaurants and bars and just cool stores. So I wish there was a media shop. There's a record store, but not like a DVD, CD store. But hey,
cool.
I have enough surrounding me.
That's true. All right. What's your next number?
Let's go 9.
9. All right. Do you remember the first movie you saw in the theater?
I believe it was Oliver and Company. That's kind of the memory I've told myself that the earliest thing I can remember, because I would have been Oliver and Company came out in either 87 or 88, which puts me at like 3 or 4 years old. So I remember, not vividly, but I kind of remember seeing Oliver and Company in the movie theater. I would go to a movie with my grandma quite a lot because like she would babysit my sister and I after school and whatnot, and she would always take us to movies or we'd watch movies over her house. So Oliver and Company is the earliest like movie theater memory I have.
Cool. It's probably a better one for a child than mine because then this will kind of date me. But I think the first movie I saw in the theater was All That Jazz, the Bob Fosse movie.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
probably not the best for a 3-year-old, but whatever. All right. What's your next number?
Let's go 16.
All right. Do you remember what the first VHS you owned or rented was?
I can tell you when it comes to renting VHS tapes, once again, going back to like going over to my grandma's house when I was younger, I would rotate between two movies when I was pretty young, definitely too young to watch them, but it was Howard the Duck and UHF were my two go-to movies when I was a younger kid. Pretty bizarre because I guarantee you I was probably 6 years old at the time, 5 or 6. So those were my two like go-to rental movies. The first VHS I would have owned, I don't know, because when I was a young person, like we had quite those big brown VHS cabinets that you pull the doors open.
Yeah.
We had 2 or 3 of those full. So I don't really remember the first tape I bought or got as a gift, but I definitely remember renting UHF and Howard the Duck pretty much alternating every week or every other week, those two movies.
I could see how those could appeal to a 6-year-old though. So
Yeah.
they're kind of colorful and yeah.
I don't think the duck boobs fully, like worked for me at 6.
Right. Oh, all right. What's your next one?
Let's go 29.
All right. What are the best souvenirs that you've ever collected while traveling?
I mean, I remember when I was young as a kid going to Florida for vacation, and I got the Back to the Future license plate from Universal Studios Florida, and it was something that just hung up on my like wall or corkboard when I was a kid. And then I recently got a new car. I guess it was last March. I bought a car, and I figured it was finally time to because it went into storage after a while, so it finally went on the front of my vehicle. And it's something like I'll see people like point at the front of my car and be like, "Oh, look at that!" Because it was they re-released them, but it's like much cheaper now. It's just like plastic. This was a metal one where it was like embossed and came out.
Yeah.
So that's like a souvenir I always think about. And then going to Disney, I was into the pins and stuff. So that's like what comes to mind. We also, my girlfriend and I have started like a tradition of getting a magnet when we go away somewhere. So like this
got the same tradition.
We went to Vegas and California. So we got a Vegas magnet and then something from LA too. So that's like a
Awesome.
newer tradition for souvenirs for me.
Yeah, I've got a covered fridge with magnets from everywhere. So awesome. All right, what's your next one?
I'll go with the number my girlfriend gave me. She said 44.
44. All right. What tech tools play the biggest role in your life?
My phone. I'm always using my phone to record YouTube videos. I use my phone for my 9-to-5 job. I'm constantly on my phone for work. I resell a lot, so I'm using my phone to research prices or to list stuff. My phone is definitely like my go-to. I every night I lay in bed, I'm watching YouTube videos on my phone or sometimes my tablet, but I sometimes just use my phone, even though my tablet's like a 10-inch screen. I'll sit there and stare at my phone instead. So my phone is my like go-to must-have, tech attachment, if you will.
It's amazing. I can't even remember what we did before them, really.
Yeah.
So it's insane.
Yeah, we were talking to my son this past weekend about there's like a TikTok trend where you ask a young kid like all the stuff that we grew up with in the 80s and 90s,
Yeah.
and we explained to him like collect calls and phone booths and stuff, and he's like, well, what about your cell phone? I was like, no, that's not how it works. Then we're no cell phones. So yeah,
I know
like it didn't resonate at all with him.
I know you're kind of a wrestling fan. I just remember back in the Attitude Era, every other commercial was like a CLATT and 1-800-COLLECT commercial, and it's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like my son turns 12. His birthday is tomorrow, so it's just crazy how much like different growing up now is compared to like when I was a kid. I mean, it's wild what is available at your fingertips. Like just Google, like you have any question, just like type it into your phone, and within seconds you have answers or a video how to do something. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. All right, awesome. All right, what you got next?
Let's go 52.
All right. I know that you do watch sports. So what's your most impressive sports moment you've ever seen?
I've ever seen?
Yeah.
In person or like?
Either.
I mean, for me, as a Philadelphia sports fan, the Eagles winning the Super Bowl was probably the most emotional I've been watching sports. I mean, really didn't think it would happen ever in my lifetime. We kind of accepted that, and to see that was pretty insane. And then in person, it would probably be in I guess it was like 1993 or 1996. I got to go to the Home Run Derby at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia and watch Mark McGwire just jacking home runs to the upper level of the vet, which is pretty impressive. But these weren't like right in the front of the upper deck. He was just hitting the ball like it was wild. So that would be like my most impressive in sports thing I've seen. I also watched the Sixers blow a 30-point lead in the playoffs 2 years ago in person. That was something. It wasn't impressive, but it was definitely something I won't forget.
Right. You go back to that Super Bowl. That was a great game too. So I remember. I have a friend that's a real big Eagles fan, and it was cool to see him happy for once. I know it could be rough.
We got so close. Like in the mid 2000s, we were getting the NFC Championship and got to the Super Bowl and just couldn't get over that hump. So to see it in my lifetime was pretty amazing. So
All right, what you got next?
Well, I'm a mature person, so let's go 69.
Okay. Let's see here. What's your favorite quote from a movie?
Wow. I'll use my senior yearbook quote from Empire Records. I do not regret the things I've done, only those I did not do. And that's Lucas in Empire Records.
That's a good quote, for sure.
I mean, I could sit here and list quotes all night.
It's a tough.
That's like I said, I used that in my senior yearbook, so that's the one I always think of.
Cool. All right, we are at number 8. What's your number for number 8?
Let's go 73.
All right. What is your favorite use of color in a film?
Wow.
Little deeper question there.
Yeah. I guess for me, I think about Wizard of Oz comes to mind, which is probably a fairly obvious one. You know, they
Mhm.
open the door and there's the Elbrick Road, and that would be up there, or Sin City with the little bit of red and color that's mixed in. Those are the two that stand out in my mind.
Okay.
When I think of like what's a color, what's something like that grabs me.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Number 9.
Let's go 86.
6. All right, this is going to pertain to you really well because of all the selection you have behind you. But how do you choose what movie to watch?
Well, I went through a phase like during lockdown. We started doing this thing where we would basically do little pieces of paper and we put like 30 movies in at a time and just reach into a hat and grab them, because it was all stuff we wanted to see. And at that time we were watching, 2 to 3 movies a day.
Yeah.
I almost try to make it like, I'll look at different watch lists I have, because I have Letterboxd and I have like movies from 2015 through this year that I want to see, or a particular actor whose filmography I'm trying to watch stuff from. So I kind of look at my watch list and see what we're in, my girlfriend and I are in the mood for. RJ wants to watch when he's here, and I kind of just wing it there. And the problem now is, like, obviously I have so much here to watch and so much of it I haven't seen that I own. But then there's all this new stuff coming out on streaming, and there's 18 streaming services, and then we have Regal Unlimited, so we try to go to the movies too to see stuff in theaters. So like this week we kind of went through and I picked a movie from my Apple Plus list, because we did a 4-month trial of Apple Plus. I picked something from my Ryan Gosling movies I want to watch list, because I'm trying to knock out what of his filmography I haven't seen. And then I got a multi-feature set that had Phantoms on it, which is what we watched tonight. And I had never seen it before. I was familiar with the line in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back where they, after with the bomb and Phantoms. So we watched that, because I'm not going to keep the set. Probably it's something I'm going to sell. Like, I had Phantoms on DVD, but I was like, why not watch it in Blu-ray? So it's kind of like we wing it, and we just pick it that way. But the hat thing works so good because it was all stuff we wanted to watch, and we were going to get to it all because we were watching so many movies that it was just like, here's what we're going to watch. So I definitely recommend that. It definitely helps. I know there's like randomizer things too, where you can put in your collection. It'll randomize your whole collection, but it's crazy. I mean, the amount of different watch lists I have, and they're growing like constantly. So it's not an easy thing, especially with TV shows too. Like,
I think some people don't understand that, but I get overwhelmed with having so much stuff to go through, and then I end up just watching something I've seen 1,000 times.
Yeah, I've been there before. Like,
I know I like this movie, I'll just watch it.
Yeah, so. And sometimes like we just watched what was it? Oh, we watched The Believer with Ryan Gosling. That was our Gosling movie we watched this week. And watching that, it's about a Jewish kid who's basically a neo-Nazi. Like, he's anti-Semitic, and so it made me want to watch Apt Pupil, which I've never seen before. So I actually bought that on eBay. I'll have that next week, and we'll definitely watch that. And it made me really want to rewatch American History X. So even though I've seen that multiple times, they kind of got like pushed up the list. And sometimes I'll record a video and be like, I really want to see this, and I'll set it aside and kind of like push it up the list. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, I could literally pick a shelf and find 10 things I haven't seen that I really want to watch. So.
Right. Cool. All right. Number 10.
Let's go 94.
94.
I should have copied Alan's status where he was writing down the numbers, because I'm just trying to pull things up.
I should have recommended that before we started, but I've got them written down here. So
I was gonna say you'll tell me if I embarrass myself and say the
yeah,
same number. I'm trying not to.
I'll let you know. All right. So if you had your own late night talk show, who would you invite as your first guest and why?
Wow, man, probably The Rock. I always said, like, if I wanted to meet one famous person, Dwayne Johnson just seems like a genuinely great person, and he always just seems happy to, meet a fan, or, he gives great interviews. He's charismatic. Obviously, as wrestling fans, like, and then to see what he's done in acting, and I think Dwayne Johnson. I even say, like, if I met one famous person, he would be the person I'd want to, like, meet or just bump into, to just like I've watched you since I was a little kid. Like, you're amazing. You're like, he's basically, in my eyes, a superhero come to life. The closest we'll get to it. So that's who I would pick.
Cool. If I had only like met, I've had some interaction with one person in the wrestling world, like multiple interactions, because I've actually lived in the same town as this guy for a little bit.
Okay.
But it wasn't The Rock, it was Vince Russo. So I don't,
okay.
I don't know what that tells you.
I used to have, when I worked at Walmart for 7 years, back when I was like 16 to 23. It was my first job. Steve Carino used to come into the Walmart I worked at quite frequently. I don't know if you remember him from ECW. Yeah.
I was wondering if you saw ECW people running around in that area.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't super close to Philly at that point, but I guess he had kind of moved out to that area. And then I worked at Blockbuster Video when I worked at Walmart too. And I believe it was the guitar bassist from Starting Line. Had like the Blockbuster where you rent 2 movies, and then you would bring them back and they would mail you 2, and then you'd bring back the envelopes. And he was a regular, like he was always coming in. So
interesting.
Regular interactions with celebrities, famous folks.
Cool. Well, The Rock would have been a good guess, because I'm sure you get good ratings for that first episode too. So. All right, number 11.
Let's go 104. 104.
All right. Here's a fun one. What movie never gets old no matter how many times you've seen it?
See, right away, I think there's like 20 comedy movies. Like, comedy is my main genre, and like I always refer to them as like my comfort movies, something I can put on, like if I'm cleaning my room or if I'm cleaning something, I can listen to it and recite it. Man, if I had to pick just one, I'd probably pick Stripes. Stripes is my favorite comedy film of all time. So that is like a movie I work with my dad, and that's a movie like that gets quoted in my office multiple times a week. So yeah, Stripes is a movie that never grows old for me. I mean, Back to the Future and early Adam Sandler stuff, Animal House, but yeah, Stripes would be I would watch it over and over and over.
Yeah, great pick. All right, number 12.
Let's go 113.
All right. Let's see what this has in store for you here. All right, what is your opinion on skipping your favorite TV show when you have company? Do you do it, or do you try to watch through it?
I would probably skip it, but make sure it's DVR'd, because I can't, like, when Game of Thrones was on, I was a late to the Game of Thrones guy. My girlfriend was a massive Game of Thrones fan. She's the only reason I watched it, and I ended up loving the show. But when that would come on, like, we would put our phones, pretty much we'd turn them off, and it was like watching the TV, no distractions or anything. So if it was a show like that where you need to kind of pay attention, I mean, there's stuff like Impractical Jokers that I would watch with people, because you don't have to, stare and focus 100%. But if it's like a show I'm like totally invested in, I would just DVR it or save it for later, or tell the person they have to leave for now.
Cool.
Most likely the DVRing it or watching it, on demand or something.
Sorry, we can't have any company right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
You have to leave. Yes.
All right. Number 13. We're about halfway there.
Let's go 124.
All right. All right. What is the one movie that you can quote the most, and how much of it do you think you can quote? You don't have to quote it here, but
Wow. I would say probably Billy Madison.
okay.
That's Billy Madison, or Ferris Bueller would be probably, and I could probably quote a good chunk of both, especially Billy Madison. I could probably, like, there's been times we just showed my son Billy Madison a few months ago, and I literally have to just go like this because I'll talk along with the movie, especially if I've seen it to the point of like memorization. And Bridget's like, he's never seen this. You got to stop. So, yeah, I think Billy Madison or Ferris Bueller.
Awesome. Those are great ones. So. All right. Number 14.
133.
All right. This will be an interesting one. What makes a good commercial?
That's tough because I don't really watch commercials anymore. What makes a good commercial?
Any memorable ones that kind of you always think about, and maybe why you like those?
No, I mean, like when I think back to like Super Bowl commercials, like back when that was a huge deal before they would come out online like a month before the game like they do now.
Yeah.
Stuff like Budweiser, like with the frogs and What's Up, like just having that like quotable, like something that turns into a whole thing on its own. Like that, like when was What's Up relevant? Like 25 years ago, and
Yeah.
I still remember that. I remember I had a T-shirt that had the Budweiser frog saying, Budweiser, and wearing that shirt to elementary school and being told I had to wear it inside out because it was a beer T-shirt. But I mean, I was always, once again, like I'm a big comedy person. So finding humor in a commercial is always, I think memorable or enjoyable for me. Or obviously a catchy jingle or slogan, the McDonald's 2 all beef patties.
Yeah.
Like I can tell you what's on a Big Mac, even though I hadn't had one until about 4 years ago for the first time. Like I could tell you everything that was on it because of the jingle from when I was a kid.
Right.
But
yeah, it's weird. Even those commercials that have nothing to do with the product, you remember the brand because of that. So, all right, cool.
Nowadays, I mean, like even like we have Hulu without commercials, and I DVR so much of what I watch that I fast forward through the commercials. So I don't really. I'm more annoyed like watching a YouTube video and seeing the same 5 or 10 second commercial every video you click. That usually just annoys me because it's the same 2 or 3 commercials for like 2 weeks and then they change them out.
That's why I buy YouTube Premium. But all right, but cool. 15.
Let's go. We'll do a high one, then we'll go back low again. Back. Let's 140. 140. Why not?
140. All right. This is a kind of fun one. Who would you make the new host of Jeopardy to replace Alex Trebek? If it could be anybody.
Well, I will say that my girlfriend Bridget and I are daily Jeopardy watchers. Not right now because they're reruns, but we DVR it and watch it every night. I will say I do enjoy Ken Jennings as the host quite a bit, but if I could have anybody do it, I think I'd want some kind of comedian to do it. Who would I want? I'd have Dave Chappelle.
Be
Dave
interesting.
Chappelle is in Jeopardy would be
Yeah.
that would be can't miss TV. So yeah, let's have Dave Chappelle host Jeopardy.
I like it.
They would have to change the rating. I don't think it would be able to be TV PG anymore.
Probably not. He'd slip up.
Yeah.
For the record, I would pick Will Ferrell as Alex Trebek.
That's a good one. Norm Macdonald, rest in peace, as Burt Reynolds.
Yes.
Kurt Ferguson.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. All right, number 16.
All right, let's go back down the list. Let's do 128.
All right, here's a non-media kind of existential question.
Oh boy.
Are ghosts real?
I don't believe in ghosts.
Okay.
I don't. I don't.
Fair enough. All right. Number 17.
Let's go. How about 117?
17. What's your favorite cartoon character and why?
Marvin the Martian. When I was a kid, I was a fan of Marvin the Martian and his cartoons. And I had my dad got me a little like gold charm Marvin the Martian that I wore probably for 15 or 20 years. And he was the only good part of Space Jam: A New Legacy because he was in it. And yeah, Marvin the Martian would be my answer. He's just always been a favorite of mine. And more obscure. He's not, necessarily a mainstream, like he's a Looney Tunes character, but he's not one of the big, 4 or 5. He's not Daffy or Bugs. So Marvin the Martian would be my answer.
All right, cool. All right, number 18.
Did I do? Let's do 107.
7. All right. Name a remake of a movie or a song that you can't stand and why.
The example I'm thinking of is a recent movie, but I can think of a song too. For movie, I would say West Side Story, only because it pretty much rang true to the original movie, and the original is like one of my favorite musicals of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Spielberg remade it and didn't really do anything different, like very similar shots, same music, same like 2-hour and 40-minute runtime. It just didn't really add anything to it.
Right.
And then song Sound of Silence by Disturbed.
Okay.
I prefer the, Paul Simon, Art Garfunkel version.
Okay. Cool. Number 19.
Let's do 92.
All right. Okay, if you could see one movie again for the very first time, what would it be and why?
Wow, that's a great question. Man. I think right away of something with like a twist, or like, man. The Usual Suspect.
Okay.
I just such a fantastic twist at the end, and just like even on rewatches, the movie is really good. So to just be able to like wipe my memory of seeing that ever and going in like, what's this movie about, and watching it with a fresh like set of eyes, not knowing, I think that would be a fun like, never seen it, what is it?
Yeah, definitely. Cool. All right, number 20.
Let's go 76.
76. All right. What are your favorite genres of movies?
Comedy. Comedy definitely is my favorite. And I also I don't know if it's technically a genre, but I've really become a sucker for like coming of age films.
Mhm.
I like stuff like Edge of 17 and Sing Street and like that kind of like, even though I'm a grown man, like eighth grade stuff like that. I really love, especially now that I have a son who's 12. Like I don't know if
Yeah.
that's making me appreciate those type of movies more, or just reflecting back on like childhood, memories. And then like music biopics or music documentaries. Like I'm a sucker for anything about music, Love and Mercy, Sing Street. We just watched a Billie Eilish documentary on Apple Plus. Like I'm just a sucker for music-based movies. So those would be my three like top.
Cool. Yeah, I pick up every little music doc I find out and about, especially those classic album ones. I love those.
Yeah.
Those are great. So
Yep.
cool. Yeah. All right. 5 more to go. What's number 21 for you?
Let's do 63.
All right. What do you think are the most important innovations of the past 50 years? I know the phone's one.
I was gonna say most important, um, internet. I mean, definitely internet for sure. Just the amount of, and that's not necessarily just for good,
Right.
but just the amount of information available at your fingertips, and what it's turned into, for better or worse, is wild to me. Um, I'll say that I bought a hybrid vehicle last year. It's not, a plug-in electric, but especially with gas prices doing what they are, I'm glad a hybrid vehicle is a thing. I have an SUV that gets, 36 miles to a gallon, which a lot of cars don't even get.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty amazing, just personal experience. And obviously, cell phone technology and tablets, it's pretty wild. And
As
TVs, Blu-ray, like,
I was going to say, as a movie fan, you got to throw high definition in there. So
yeah, or just, I mean, disc disc formats for CDs and DVDs, because
yeah,
50 years ago that wasn't a thing. I mean, I love being able to like pop in even a DVD, and if I want to watch a particular scene, like just skipping the menu and all that is so much better than like a VHS tape. You'd watch the same part over and over, and then the movie would start getting fuzzy or not play properly. So
yeah. You
yeah,
know what's amazing is I was talking to someone, and I'm a little older than you, but it's amazing to think that the video store was born and died already within my lifetime. It's crazy. So,
it is sad. I worked at Blockbuster. I still say to this day is my favorite job I've ever had. It definitely wasn't the best paying.
right.
Uh, it was annoying working pretty much every Saturday night as low man on the totem pole. But I just, man, the smell of a movie store, and like just being obsessed with movies and having a pretty great movie knowledge, like having somebody be like, do you know the movie that has Tim Allen in it, where, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, Big Trouble is over there under comedy, and they're like, uh, okay, and like I just loved that aspect, or the family coming in and everybody picking out a movie. Like the video store was such an awesome place. So
Well, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about before about finding what to watch. Is I never went to the video store and left with nothing. I always got something and I took it home and watched it. Now I scroll through streaming services and sometimes I don't watch anything. So,
And you would go and you obviously something like the cover might have caught your eye, and then you'd read the back and you're like, oh, this sounds either awesome or this sounds so stupid, and put it back and find something else. Like,
yeah,
I mean, yeah, the video store, it's a shame there, especially in my area, there are no video stores at all. Like, I know there's still mom and pop shops around,
Yeah.
kind of, but I couldn't even tell you the nearest video store to me. I have
Yeah.
no idea.
I think most of ours are gone too, for sure. So, yeah, it's sad. So. All right, I'll get off the downer. What's number 22?
Let's go 48.
Right. Have you read any good books lately?
I haven't read any good books lately. I used to read a lot more. I went back into reading big during COVID for a while, and I stopped. The last book I listened to was my favorite comedian, Bert Kreischer. His book Life of the Party, and just to hear him do an audiobook and tell the stories was really enjoyable. And then the Matthew McConaughey Green Lights book I really enjoyed, especially that was another audiobook, listening to him, tell stories, and his just his voice is awesome the way he tells the stories. So those are the two most recent that I recommend. The Bert Kreischer book's really funny, especially if you're a fan of Bert.
I'll have to check out the Green Lights one for sure. That sounds
it's really
right
good.
up my
I actually
alley.
I collect autographed books, and that's one of the ones I have is Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Cool. All right, number 23.
Let's go 37. That's how old I am. Let's do that.
It's a Clerk's reference too.
Yeah, in a row.
All right, what are your tips for enjoying the holiday season?
Enjoy time with your family, even if it drives you crazy. Go outside and take some deep breaths if you need it. But family is super important, whether you consider your family your actual family or close friends. If you have kids, cherish it. I mean, it feels like my son is just growing like crazy. Like the fact he'll be 12, he's in 7th grade already. He was just starting kindergarten, and it's wild. So I think that's the most important thing, is just enjoying time with your loved ones, and don't let, especially if you're talking Christmas and stuff, don't let the money side of it ruin holidays for you. I know it stresses a lot of people out, and we're trying to prepare for it. They do bank holiday club things, try to do that to help ease the burden. So don't let it ruin your enjoyment of the holidays.
Cool. I can definitely relate with the kid thing, because I feel like my kids were just born recently, and I had one earlier this month that turned 22 years old. So
yeah,
it flies by.
Like I say, he turns 12 tomorrow, and he's definitely a teenager already. And I'm like, man, I miss the days where you would just give me hugs and not talk back or know the answer to everything. I miss those days.
All right, we got 2 left. Number 24.
Okay. Let's go number 17.
All right. Number 17. What was the first 4K title you bought?
That I bought? Well, I can tell you, I didn't buy it, but my girlfriend bought me the Baby Driver 4K Steelbook, and I think
Okay.
that was the first. I'm pretty sure it was the first 4K I got. I could be mistaken, but that's the one that like sticks out in my head because I wasn't going to get it because at the time it had already been released and then went out of print. And I want to say it was like my first birthday we were together. She got it for me, and I had no idea. Like that was, I'm pretty sure it was the first 4K I got.
Okay. Cool.
So.
All right. Last one.
Time for my favorite number 24.
24. All right. What words or phrases do you think are overused?
Wow. Oh man. Woke. I don't want to get controversial, but I'm sick of wokeness and cancel culture.
Totally agree.
Literally. But I mean, I like it when Rob Lowe says it in Parks and Rec, but outside of that, I'm kind of over literally. And yeah, those are the three that come to mind. But yeah, I'm woke and cancel culture. Just man,
That's good.
Recent experience. I watched Lightyear. I personally loved it, and I've seen some of the. I just shake my head reading some of the thoughts and comments, and people not letting their kids watch it because of a scene that literally is in the movie for all of 30 seconds. It just, I really loved Lightyear, and the fact that there's this like, I think it has like an IMDb rating of 5.3. I was just like, wait a sec, like did we watch the same movie? Is it really just because? And you read the reviews, and it's woke. It's oh my god, I'm like, it's a flippin' Pixar movie about Buzz Lightyear that I've grown up around since I was 11 years old. Like, who cares? Like, you're reading way too far into a minor character plot. So, but that's my answer.
All right. Well, you survived the Inquisition. Hope you feel like you made it out the other side. Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Appreciate you being on and had a fun time.
No, I appreciate you having me, man. It's a lot of fun. It's a great idea. Like, I've been doing YouTube now, what, 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess a little over 5 years, and you know, I've been a part of like movie collection battles. I'm into movie trivia things, and when you reached out to me and told me the premise, I was like, well, that sounds interesting. I watched the first episode. I was like, this is a great idea because it's not, like you said, it's not just movie related or media related. It's getting to know the collector or the personality behind that person you watch on YouTube. So, like, it's awesome. So.
Yeah, get a little bit of movie questions in there, but also some little deeper stuff. So it's kind of fun.
I'm glad I didn't conspiracy question. I saw your conspiracy theory question, and my girlfriend's a huge conspiracy theory fan. I was like, man, I would just be like, no, I think they're ridiculous personally.
There you go. You got a bonus question out of me. So, so anybody watching this, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. We got a lot more people lined up, including Tony from Basement Blues is coming up soon. So nice. I know everybody loves Tony's collection. So stay tuned for that. And as I said, check out Down the Movie if you're new to Rick's channel. Give him a subscribe. And
as of right now, videos drop every Thursday, and I alternate like a review video one week and a pickup video. So that's the foreseeable future. I cut down from 2 videos a week because I was getting kind of burnt out. So a video a week, alternating reviews, pickups. I think as of right now, I have 4 videos recorded. I have to edit and upload them, and I have some more to do as I look next to me on my shelf.
Well, it was great to have you. I appreciate you rescheduling with me because I've dealt with my second battle of COVID. So
Glad to hear you're doing better.
Definitely doing better. So thanks to everybody that watched. Thanks again, Rick. And until we see you next time, take it easy.